Hello, good evening. Welcome to Glasgow Rangers Nation live, guys. It is a Sunday evening. It is, the 22nd of December. We are but 3 days from Christmas. 3 more sleeps till the big fat fella comes down your chimney. Yes, the big fat fella. We're not talking about Douglas Park or Graham Park coming down your chimney. Jesus, that would be horrific, wouldn't it? Christmas morning, if you woke up to Douglas Park or Graham Park in your living room, that would scare the shit out of most people, wouldn't it? It really genuinely would. Hello to Janet. Hello to Airwolf. Evening to Aldo. Good evening, CJ. How you doing? How is everyone doing this fine, very cold, windy evening down here? CJ's enjoying his bath. Aldo, oh man, at least you've got a bloody bath. Have to have a bird bath till my shower gets fixed, mate. That's not ideal. Garden with the hose pipe, mate. Is that what it is? Garden with the hose pipe. Tottenham fans are calling for Angie's head. Yeah, they lost 6-3 today. Evening, Janet. Yeah, they did. Rangers women lost 3-0 at home to Hibernian women. That's got to go down as a little bit of a shockaroony there on a Sunday. On a Rangers women seem to be bottling the title to some degree. Maybe, I don't know. Huckster, how you doing, buddy? Great to have you here. William Salmon, hey, how you doing? Welcome on board. Welcome to Glasgow Rangers Nation live. Guys, just a couple of bits of housekeeping before we get started talking all things Rangers, obviously, from this weekend, and a little look ahead to what's upcoming this week, Christmas week, obviously. Like I said, the big fat fella on his way down your chimney, Douglas Park, Graham Park. No, it's not them, thank God. So what have we got? Oh yeah, just a couple of things, just a couple of housekeeping. So obviously this week we've got the St Mirren game coming up on Boxing Day, 5:45 kickoff. It will be a live watch along here on the channel, so come and join us for that. And then obviously we've got the game following 2 days after that. We'll look at that one as well. Just did a bit of an announcement, guys. We are going live. Not live. We're going to launch tomorrow morning with a new channel. This is the new channel that we are going to be going live with tomorrow. First video out tomorrow morning. Owen James, the football podcast. Owen James, guys. It is you know how Mark Goldbridge has That's Football, where he talks about, obviously, and he live streams games. He talks about the English game mainly. Well, this is the Scottish version, guys. We'll be looking at the SPL, the Scottish Cup, looking at Europa League, the Champions League, looking at all things to do with the Scottish game, with obviously a very slight, major Rangers bias to it, obviously with myself presenting. But guys, that is obviously going live tomorrow, so if you're interested in that, please obviously smash a sub for that. Let's have a little look at some more comments this evening. John, how you doing? Nice profile picture, mate. That suits you. Good evening, John. Owen and all teddy bears in the chat. I'm wishing everyone a Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you too. Jimmy Thielen, a busted flush, thankfully didn't sack Clement to chase Thielen, says Airwolf. Yeah, it seems like the wheels have well and truly come off the Aberdeen train. I think we all know Dessa's finished and can't sell Igman now. Matt says Motherwell are no mugs. Could be 4 points going into the second half of the season after the second. Very true. Celtic and Aberdeen dropping points. Long may it continue, says Mays. Absolutely, guys. So yeah, we're going to go with that. I heard that Mark Woodbridge is actually a Forest fan. That's now... Right, I'm going to clear... Look, I'm not Mark Goldbridge's agent, but I'm going to clear something up. He's not a Forest fan. His dad is a Forest fan. And his dad took him to Forest games as a kid. However, his family split up and he went to live with his grandparents, and his granddad was a massive, huge United fan, and that's how he became a Man United fan. So he went to Forest games as a kid because his dad was a Forest fan. That's where the misconception comes up. He does come from Nottingham. Yeah, he's actually from Nottingham. But mate, Aldo, Blue Nose, have you ever heard of a Manchester United fan from Manchester? Then all Man United fans come from London and surrounding areas anyway. But I tell you something, I watched them today. I tell you something, they got their arses handed to them by Bournemouth, didn't they? Did anyone see that? Manchester United 0, Bournemouth 3 at Old Trafford. Never been known. Bournemouth are a good top 10 English team, but Jesus, going to Old Trafford, the wheels have come off there. Maybe, just maybe, that's funny, Aldo. That is proper funny, mate. Yeah, absolutely, mate. You know, I tell you something, I ain't scared of them. I am not scared of Manchester United in that Europa League tie. I fancy us to go to Old Trafford and get something. If we go to Old Trafford and we have a proper good go at them, I'm not being funny, right? But I actually have got a lot of hope that we can get a result there. I really genuinely do. If we go and play, like we can play, not like we played on Saturday because that was shit, but like we have been playing against Spurs, and against FCSB and against Malmo and against Nice, I reckon we can get something. I honestly reckon we can get something. That's 23rd of January, that fixture. Uh, Premier League is crazy. Yeah, it is. Liverpool top. Absolutely. My daughters are well happy with that. Yeah, absolutely. I honestly reckon you get 4 points. Mate, I want six, Aldo. I want 6 points in the last two Europa League games. I think we beat Union Saint-Gilloise on the 30th. But seriously, on the 23rd of January, I honestly think we do Man United. I honestly think we do Man United. I really do think we do Man United. They're a bit shit. They're a little bit shit. They're a little bit shit, mate. I honestly reckon we can do them. I reckon that's a possibility of win, because you know what, they'll be thinking, oh, it's only Rangers, that's an easy game, we can win that one. But then you see the way they played today, and they got done, and they are. I mean, obviously, the downside for us is the fact that they're really susceptible from set pieces, and we're not very good at set pieces. I mean, if we were really good at corners, I think we'd win 4 or 5-0. But hey, there we go. Yeah, mate, I would love to do something with Mark Goldbridge, mate. I would love to do something with Mark Goldbridge. Yeah, they are in the Champions League places. It's absolutely amazing, 100% amazing. It absolutely is. Respect to Forest. I mean, look. I think we should be. We will talk Rangers in a minute, but I am honestly. Forest. I mean, I've got a bit of a soft spot for Forest because I'm a big fan of Brian Clough. I was a massive fan of Brian Clough. I just loved Cloughie. His honesty, his candidness, the crap that he used to talk at times, the fact that he was pissed most of the time. I used to love Cloughie, and I'll tell you something. He was great. He was great. I think we have the genuine chance again. I do too, mate. I honestly think we've got a chance of doing Man United. And do you know what? I'd love it if we did them, to quote Kevin Keegan. I'd love it if we beat them, because I tell you something, I don't know about you guys, but has anyone seen Angry Ginge? He's that YouTuber, TikToker. He is fucking annoying. He is proper annoying. Absolutely. So yeah, he is funny actually. Hopefully Liverpool bottom of the league. They're anti-British as the Mankey mob, says the Kurgan. My daughters wouldn't agree with you on that one. Does anyone know whether? Yeah, that's a good shout. I don't know where that came from today, mate. I don't know. Fergie time. We do. Yeah, I'd like that. Perhaps he wants to buy Rangers. Perhaps he's got Olympiacos. He's got Forest. Perhaps he'd like to invest in Rangers as well. Perhaps he'd like a City football group. I don't know. Let's tell you what, John. You drop him a line. That's your job for this week, mate. You drop him a line. See if you can get him interested in buying Rangers. That would be fabulous if you could, buddy. Right. So I mean, obviously, the big news of today was the result from Tannadice earlier, which I think came as perhaps a little bit of a surprise to some. I don't think that a lot of people. I mean, I'll be honest with you. As much as I kind of had a little bit of a hope that it would happen. I just thought realistically it ain't going to happen. I thought realistically, it's not going to happen. Realistically, I couldn't see Dundee getting anything from the game. And, they've dropped points. They've actually dropped points. And I'll tell you something. I watched the highlights when I got in from work because I wanted to have a little look at how the game was and what the situation was with the game. And their shooting was absolute garbage. They were worse than us. I mean, if you think our finishing was bad on Saturday, which we'll get to, it wasn't great, was it? I mean, our finishing on Saturday was pretty poor. Theirs was shocking. Theirs was absolutely shocking. And I'll tell you something, Kyogo, what an absolute waste of space he is. Proper waste of space. And I tell you, there is two things from that game that prove that the whole SFA bias towards Celtic is still there. Ria Hatate should have been sent off. There was an incident in the second half where the ball breaks off Hatate and he goes in with his studs up on one of the players in the penalty box, and it should have definitely been a red card for me. That was a red card, 100% red card for me. He should have been sent off for that. And the other incident, what was the other? Oh yeah, the added time. I mean, talk about play till you score. I mean, I think it was a case of play till you score, play till Celtic score. It did seem that that was the way it went for. It did see that. It was the crossbar challenge, although yeah, I told you it would be a good weekend. We'll be 6 points on the second, and it's all to play for. I mean, that's something we definitely, absolutely. We hit the bar 4 times. We did, didn't we? I mean, it was Tab's free kick. They hit the underside. Igman hit the bar. Dessers hit the bar. And Ianis Hagi. Oh, I wish that Ianis Hagi shot had gone in. Really do. Mankey Mob usually score late on. Not today, though. Absolutely not. We'll take 3 points playing crap football than 1 point playing free play. Mate, any win is a win. I don't care. You know what? If we won the league by playing 38 games, shit, boring crap football, but we won every single game 1-0, and we played 38, won 38, scored 38 goals, conceded none, I wouldn't give a monkeys when we lifted that trophy. Wouldn't care left. I was really surprised. Play till they score wasn't in play. It seemed to be, didn't it, today? I think the ref did his very best to have play till they score. There you go. Forest greatest ever player John Robertson, the man who crossed the ball for Trevor Francis in that European Cup final, was a Rangers fan. There we go. Single figures now. Rangers need to get their acting together. This is still doable. They usually get 10 to 15, but they do, mate. They do. Boxing Day KO players can't get pished at Christmas. No, they can't, can they? One of the downsides of being a footballer, you can't get hammered at Christmas. I mean, the league table, this is the league table, guys, coming out of the weekend, and it doesn't look quite as bad, does it? I mean, it really doesn't. It looks a little bit more doable. It looks a bit more doable coming out of this weekend. And, you know, it just feels a little, I don't know about you guys, but it feels a little bit better. It feels all a little bit nicer and easier and just a little bit more, I don't know, a bit more optimistic coming out of this weekend. You know, perhaps heading into Christmas, things are starting to turn. Perhaps Santa is a Rangers fan. He's bringing us nice presents. But I mean, you look at the league table coming out this weekend. I mean, we obviously went into the weekend and it was 11 points, the gap between us and them. It is now down to 9 points. I mean, and the positive you can take from that, and I know this is a big ask. But there's 3 Old Firm games left. Okay, and 2 of those are Ibrox. You know, this is not now, I don't think, and I'm officially calling this, guys. It is the 22nd of December. Can you all please officially mark this in their in your calendars? I'm officially calling this. The league race is back on. We are back on their tails. Can you see us now, Celtic? We're coming to get you. The league race is firmly back on, guys. I'm calling it today, 9 o'clock on the 22nd of December. We are back in pursuit, and the chances of winning this league is not over yet. It is still all to play for. So 9 points. It's only 9 points. And like I said, 3 games, 3 Old Firm games to go. Only one of those is at Sharkhead. The other 2 are at Ibrox. They've still got to go some places. They are still in the Champions League. You know, if they get into the Champions League, I mean, the likelihood is they're going to qualify from the Champions League. So they're going to have European football after Christmas as well to distract them. Well, they'll have 1 round of European football, then they'll get humiliated by somebody and they'll go out. But, you know, it's still, isn't it? It's still, you know, a busy time. But I think this isn't over yet. This is not over. I mean, I know they're still unbeaten. That's something that's got to change. And they've only conceded 4 goals this season, which, you know, is not ideal. But I'll tell you something, this isn't over by any stretch of the imagination. It really genuinely isn't. And it's 9 points, but it's not a huge gap anymore. And, you know, if we beat them on the second, come out the second, it's down to 6 points. I'll tell you something, they're going to start to feel the pressure a little bit. They're going to start to feel that we're coming for them. And I'll tell you, I don't think that this Celtic team are as mentally strong as the Celtic team of Ange Postecoglou. I don't think this is the same team. I think that we saw last season, didn't we, that there's a soft underbelly to this Celtic team, that there is a chance to get at them. And I think, you know, we could have won the league last season, but for those shit decisions and bottles and just awful performances against Ross County and Dundee. You know, it could have easily been a title we won last season. It was in our hands at one point. We threw it all away. You know, you've got to pray, obviously, that we keep up the form we're in. We keep up playing as we are, and we keep up scoring goals, which was a little bit bad on Saturday. But, you know, I don't think this is over. This is not over by any stretch of the imagination. It isn't really. Is not yet over. So look at some of your comments. Yes, Aldo. Yes, massive congratulations to Big Jack. Super Jack Butland had a baby. Well, he didn't have the baby. His wife had a baby. Now, that was the reason he left, apparently, to go to see the birth of his 4th child. It wasn't, as I said, because he was injured. Someone else said he had a cold, he had the flu, but no, it was because his wife gave birth to I think it's their 4th child. He's been a busy boy, hasn't he, old Jack Butland? But I mean, I'm told that he's a very attractive man, so I'm not surprised that his missus can't keep her hands off him. So there we go. I'm not surprised they've got 4 kids. I was trying to find a picture, but I can't find a picture of them anyway. Yeah, so congratulations to Super Jack. Scott Hammond says, brilliant weekend points-wise, considering weather conditions need to build on it. Yeah, the weather was shocking today, wasn't it? I mean, watching those highlights of the Celtic-Dundee game, the weather was absolutely appalling. It really was. Not good at all, was it? It was really, really poor. And yeah, absolutely. Considering the weather conditions coming out the weekend, it's a perfect result for. Well, I mean, it could have been better, obviously. I mean, it could have been a lot better in terms of the fact that Dundee United could have scored and beaten them. I mean, that would have been a whole lot better, wouldn't it? But I'll tell you something. It's still very, very positive news coming out of the weekend. They scored in 90 minutes. There's no 6 minutes added on. Absolutely. Liam Kelly's presser near brought a tear to my eye. I tell you, CJ, I actually didn't watch it, mate. I didn't actually watch it. I haven't actually had a chance to watch it yet. I honestly thought that would be another play on until they score. I did, John. I'll be honest with you, mate. I'll be honest with you. All the best, all the best to the Butland family. Kuhn might be injured for the Old Firm, but that'd be good news, wouldn't it? That would be great news. Although it says 18 shots, 6 on target, apparently. Blue Nose, they tried their best, but they had at 10 minutes, people would have to ask. Yeah, absolutely, they did. Evening, Alex. How you doing? How you feeling, buddy? Good evening, Owen, and all the best. Slow down, let's keep it real. The gap is still 9 points, and that's not easy to close. I'm ever hopeful, but beware false dawns. Yeah, I mean, obviously, Alex, I get you, mate. I get you, and perhaps I'm getting a little bit carried away because it's nearly Christmas. But look, I mean, you've got to come out of this weekend a little bit more optimistic, a little bit more positive that the league race is back on again, and we've got a chance to really close the gap and really take this down to the wire. And that's, like I said, with 3 Old Firms still to go, and I know our Old Firm record is not brilliant. I know our Old Firm record is not great of late, but you've got to be a little bit more optimistic, I think, and just think, and like you said, yes, let's not get carried away. 100%, let's not get carried away, mate. But by that same token, I just want to say, look, I'm just trying to be positive about this. I'm trying to show that we've got every chance, that we've got a chance to actually, do something, win and get after this league. And like I said, I don't think Celtic are all that great a team. I genuinely don't think they're that great a team. They really aren't. So I'll be honest with you, I'm hopeful. I'm really hopeful. Really, really hopeful that we can get something. 100%. Airwolf, I will put a link in a minute into the new channel, of course. Yeah, Alex, that's it. You've got to be hopeful, that's it. Clement needs to put the pressure on refereeing team for coming up. Yeah, Blue Nose, that's a great shout, mate. He does. He really does need to kind of stick the boot in, doesn't he, a little bit, and kind of, so not in a direct way, but sort of in a clever underhand way. And I'll leave that to Mr. Clement. He's got to kind of raise the temperature a little bit going into that game and just say, look, at the end of the day, he's got to raise the pressure a little bit, hasn't he? He's got to really put it on a little bit, try and get the pressure up a little bit on them, and get the officials thinking the same way that that he does, or that they do. That the Celtic lot do. Let's do the same. I mean, look, I don't want to sink to their levels. I don't like sinking to their levels. But at the end of the day, you've got to kind of just, for me, think, you know what? You've got to be a little bit like them to that extent, haven't you? To try and kind of, I don't know, pull it out a little bit to kind of, just cause a few issues, cause a few problems, get them thinking a little bit. That's got to be the way forward, I believe, coming into this weekend. I am trying to drop a link to the new channel in there, but it's playing up at the moment. I don't know why it's not letting me put a link in, but I'll try in a minute to do that. Right, let's have a little reflection, shall we? What else? We've got some couple of comments here. Them lot have already started the narrative that one of their players will be sent off due to us complaining. Mate, they will do. They'll do everything they can to unsettle it. Hopefully Kelly doesn't need to wait till baby number 5 now. Yeah, absolutely. Difference between Rangers and that mob is confidence they have it, and we're starting to get some. Janet, that's a great shout. We do seem to have some confidence coming out of this one. Airwolf says, hopefully Picard puts a statement out before the next Old Firm. Patrick Stewart, hopefully. Let's take it to the Cas Court. That's a good shout, mate. Let's take it to the Court of Arbitration for Sport, shall we? And cause a few problems and cause a few issues there. Let's do that and try and kick it up a little bit. Right, so let's come out of the weekend. I mean, look, overall performance, it wasn't the best of performances, was it? I mean, let's face it, on reflection, you've got to kind of say not the best of performances. But it's 3 points, and that's the key thing, isn't it? That it's 3 points. And you kind of, I don't know, we've played well up to this point, and you've got to kind of think that maybe, just maybe, that it's taken the whole cup final and all the narrative around the cup final did take a little bit out of them, perhaps to some extent. So maybe that will explain the less than stellar performance on Saturday. But I think you're right. There's a few things that were different, I think, for me over the Killy game, the Tottenham game and the Celtic game. I mean, if you take the Tottenham and Celtic games, for example, you've got to look at it in terms of the fact that both Tottenham and Celtic look to play football against us, which obviously enables us to play a little bit more football, doesn't it? It really does. So that's a positive. It enabled us to actually go and play with a bit of style, have a go, play a bit faster, play a bit quicker, because you're not trying to play against a low block. You're not trying to overcome 11 men behind the ball. You're not trying to overcome kicking and fouling and spoiling, which you get in a game, in the games against, the likes of St Johnstone and Hearts and Hibs and Ross County and teams like that. So that's a positive. That's a positive. But, the Killy game as well was helped with the early goals. So, I mean, that obviously gave us the lift. And I think, when we don't get that early goal, that's when it starts to labour a little bit. And it's kind of like the teams start to feel the pressure a little bit, and they start to kind of worry a little bit, don't they? And they start to kind of, I don't know, feel a bit of stress around the whole thing. Of, can we score? Is the crowd going to turn? Is it going to get a bit heated? So, at the end of the day, you've got to kind of say that Saturday, although it wasn't brilliant, it wasn't a great game, it was a bit of a dull game, it's 3 points, and that's the key thing. And almost winning ugly at times is actually a sign of a better team, because if you can win ugly, if you can keep doing it when you're perhaps not on the best of form, and you're not obviously been as clinical as you should be, that's a good sign. That's a positive sign. Clement needs to let the refs know that all eyes are on them. I agree with you 100%. Oh, gotta say, absolutely, mate. You have got one of the best gift pictures I have ever seen in my entire life. The peacock strikes back, guys. You've got to appreciate that, haven't we? No surrender, guys. Absolutely. There's the channel link, guys. If you want to subscribe, we're going to try and get to 1,000 subs as soon as possible. Dado, happy Christmas, mate. I gotta say, I love your picture as well. They're a baying mob on the East End. They certainly are. John Graham, welcome. New name. I Scotty Arfield, salute you. Teams need to put pressure on the mob's defence. They are shaky at the back. If you press them, definitely not as good as they think they are. Didn't we show that in the cup final? Didn't we show that in the cup final when we went for them, that we caused them problems? And I think that's a huge thing that we need to do. Subscribed. Thank you very much, mate. A win is a win, whether it's 3 goals, 1 goal, it's still 3 points. And that's the big thing, isn't it? Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, William, for subbing to the new channel. Brian Nairn says, Man U are there for the taking. Mate, they are. I'm telling you, as I opened the podcast with, I don't reckon they're as scary as people make them out to be. I honestly think we can take them. Genuinely do, mate. Genuinely do. Blue Nose says, that mob are behaving like a spoilt child. They've literally been hoovering up trophies for 2 decades now. Yeah, absolutely. Since 2012, since the whole debacle, since that whole financial meltdown that we had, and we had to come back from the bottom, and we've had the long journey back. They have, haven't they? They've had it their own way, and it's time we put pressure on them. It's time we get back to being the Rangers of old. It's time we get back to being that. Oh, fucking hell, wrong way. It's time to get back to being that Rangers, isn't it? And the other one, which is over there. Imagine the meltdown if we do win the league. Oh, Matt, it'll be beautiful. It will be beautiful. It will be a thing of Mona Lisa quality. Mwah. Airwolf says Gelhardt rumours aren't going away, mate. I hope they do fucking go away, because he's not a good footballer. He's a very average player, and you've got to kind of look at Gelhardt, and you've got to kind of take it in terms of what does he bring to the team that we haven't already got. What is he? He's not a striker, so he's not going to score you 15, 20 goals, because he's not a 9. I mean, Sunderland tried using him as a 9, and it didn't work. He didn't play. He scored 3 goals in 23 games, I think it was. So that's not an option for me. I mean, you bring him in as a 10. Well, we've got Hagi. He's playing the best football. Bayrami can play 10. Danilo can play 10. I don't think we need a 10. He's not a winger. So that's another one. I'll be honest with you, mate. I don't get the Gelhardt rumours. I don't get the Gelhardt links. I've seen him play a lot. I don't like him as a footballer. I genuinely don't rate the guy at all. I mean, I've seen him play for Leeds. I've seen him play for Sunderland. I've seen him play for Wigan. Don't rate the kid. Don't rate the kid. Sorry. He's never really made the step up for me from youth football to full football. Yeah, absolutely. Good point here from Dado. Dado says that Man United can't defend. We could get some. I agree, mate. I agree. Who's Isaac Price? I ain't got a clue. I ain't got a clue. Unless they're singing about the Iron Terrace, they have no songs. United fans today, absolutely silent. Matt Gunnar stars we all have it in grasp, says Honest G. Play Man U like we played Spurs. We can win this game. Agreed. Agreed, Janet. Absolutely 100% agreed with you. I mean, a few points again to pick up from the weekend, guys. You know, his first point I want to pick up is this. You know, is that Hagi. I want to talk about Ianis Hagi. Let's talk about Ianis Hagi. Before we do Ianis Hagi, I'm just going to put a quick. We love a poll, don't we? We love a poll. We're going to get to Ianis Hagi in a minute. So hold your Ianis Hagi thoughts. They're coming. Let's get a bit of a poll. We love a poll. We love a poll. Gonna have a poll. So this is my question: are you more optimistic? Rangers can challenge for trophies this. Oh, flipping out! If I could spell, it would be amazing. Trophies this season. Okay, there we go. So the question is, are you more optimistic that Rangers can challenge for trophies this season? Yes or no? Coming out this weekend, how do you feel? How do you feel? Airwolf says, we'll take the Croatian midfielder, sell Dessers in January, take the 3 mil. Mate, that would be a good shout. Use the Dessers money to get Soldo. I think Soldo would be a good buy. He looks a quality footballer. He's a defensive midfielder, a bit of a wrecking ball, bit of a wrecking crew. But he'd score goals. I think he's got 10 goals and assists this season from number 6. And look, Nicholas Raskin is our 6. And don't get me wrong. I mean, Raskin was superb yesterday. He's been superb since he's got himself fit, since he's got himself back into the team. So huge props to Nicholas Raskin. He's been really, really good. But Raskin, Raskin, he cannot play every game. I mean, look, you're probably going to have, excuse me for a minute, you're probably going to have what? The Europa League games, the Scottish Cup, the league, obviously all coming up after Christmas. And we're going to be going back pretty much to 3 games a week. You've got to have a rotation there because, the more and more you use the players, the more and more, the more wear and tear on the players, the more likely you are to get injuries. I would say that we haven't really got a backup to Raskin. I mean, Raskin's becoming that 6, isn't he? I mean, he really has turned himself into that kind of that 6, that indispensable 6, the Rodri-esque 6. He sits at the base of the midfield. He drops back into the back 4 when needed. He does everything we want him to do, and he breaks it up. He gets recoveries well. He starts off attacks. He's metronomic. He's the quarterback at the base of the midfield. And you've got to say that if we could just get a bit of cover there for him, so that we can spell him, we can take him out of games, we can put him into games. We can use his minutes wisely. Because if he gets injured, I would say that we don't get Soldo, we haven't really got a 6. Now, Barron's done it, but I'd say Barron's better at break. I say you get a bit of a better Barron when you kind of play Barron more in an 8 role. So, at the end of the day, I would say that we do need a 6 still, and I think Soldo would be a great buy. Watch the price boy, good athlete, good poacher in the box. Strong boy looks decent, but I don't rate South African players much, says Jay. I'll have a little bit of research onto Isaac Price. Let me just make a note of that name. I will look into that name tonight. How is Erin? I'm good, buddy. Raskin is a tenacious wee terrier. He is, mate. He's like a little yapping. He's like a little Yorkshire terrier, isn't he? He's like a little ferreter. He gets down there. He gets down and dirty. He gets in people's faces. He breaks up attacks. And you know what? The one thing that Raskin's kind of done for me as a player, we'll get to Hagi in a minute, is that Raskin he's kind of become that nastiness, isn't he? One of the things that, a lot of people have said about Rangers is that we lacked a bit of nastiness. We lacked a bit of bite. We lacked a bit of kicking, a bit of kicking in there. We lacked a bit of, real, get in there, battle, fight, kick, scratch, claw. We didn't have that, and I think Raskin's got that little bit of nastiness about him, hasn't he? He really has. So I think I'm very optimistic, that he's really providing us with that six, and he's given us that little bit of Barry Ferguson style grit in the central of midfield that we've been missing in recent times. Airwolf says we need that midfielder that can get 10 to 15 goals a season and loads of assists. Cantwell didn't do enough in both departments. Airwolf, fabulous shout, buddy. That may explain the link to Olaroo. Olaroo. Is it Darius Olaroo, the Romanian guy from FCSB that's been linked? I mean, he's certainly someone who gets goals and assists, and he would get you 10 to 15 for definite. He's already got about 15, 20 assists this season already for FCSB. So, he would be a great shout to come in and really fill that role, mates. He really, really would. Raskin coming into a game now. Hopefully he stays fit. I agree with you. Just wish our goals were coming from across the team instead of relying on just one or two. Alex, that's an absolute must. And I think, come January, that's something that we do seem to be looking at addressing, because if you look at the links that we're getting, take out the Joe Gelhardt link for a minute, but you look at Soldo, even as a six, Soldo scores goals. He puts the ball in the back of the net, and he scored, it's 10 goals and assists, I think I said, this season. So, he does provide that. Olaroo might end up being a bit too expensive for us, but if you look at Darius Olaroo, who's the Romanian geezer from FCSB, this season he's played 15 league games. He scored 6 goals, 3 assists, 9 goal contributions in 15 games this season. So he's a quality footballer. He's an attacking guy from midfield who'll score you goals. And I think, if I'm being honest, Alex, what I'm thinking is looking at and I know paper talk can be a load of bullshit. I get that, mate. I really do get that. But if these are the kind of names we're looking at Olaroo, we're looking at Soldo. These are providing goals from across the midfield. Now, if you got Soldo and Olaroo, that's 30 goal contributions from 2 players this season already. Olaroo this season, 29 appearances, 13 goals, 7 assists in all competitions. That's 20 goal contributions in 29 games, which from midfield is phenomenal. And it's a goal every 158 minutes, which is just fantastic. And Soldo, like I said, has got 10 goals and assists this season from 6. So I do believe that would really kind of address that concern that you've got there, Alex. It really would. Help out, mate. Stephen, absolutely congratulations to Big Jack on his birthday, his child. They should actually give the players more confidence. It certainly should coming out of the weekend. Wouldn't need a Loudrup and a decent defender, says Brian there. And Brian, I would love a Loudrup style player. Wouldn't you love to have Brian Loudrup back? Not as he is now, as he was, obviously, as he was. Those of us who were lucky enough to see Brian Loudrup play. There's absolutely a few goals. But I do think we're kind of looking beyond that. Stephen says, Merry Christmas to you and your family. Thank you, Stephen. Merry Christmas to you. And Merry Christmas to everyone watching. Hagi. Right, let's get to Ianis. Good looking lad he is. Good looking fella. Not jealous at all of him. I think, one of the big turnarounds in our form has come when Ianis has come back into the team. If you look at the kind of, for me, the line in the sand, the line in the sand came second half against Dundee United. It really did. Yes, we didn't go on to win that game, but the performance was massively improved in that second half. And I think if you look back across, the Dundee game, you look at the Killie game, the Celtic game, yesterday's game, the common consent, the common, thread. And look, I don't want to be big-headed, and I don't want to kind of be the I told you so kind of person, but I told you so. Ianis Hagi, class. The guy has come back in and he's made a huge difference to this team. He is the playmaker. He is the guy who keeps this team moving. He moves the ball quickly. He is incisive with his passing. He's good with his running. He'll have a dig from range. He was unlucky not to score yesterday. Hagi, for me, has made a massive difference to this team. He really has been kind of like the the clarion call, the kind of guy who's come in and give us that little bit of class in the midfield, a little bit of just something else, that was massively missing. I mean, Tom Lawrence has got goals and assists this season. Don't get me wrong, and he has contributed goals from midfield, but he's just not a clever enough player for me to kind of be that guy to unlock those tight defenses, to create those chances, to link the midfield and the attack. Hagi links the wingers, he links the strikers, he links everyone together with his passing, his movement. And I just feel that Hagi has made such a huge difference. The lad's class. Absolute class. And he really has made a huge, huge difference. Janet's in love with Hagi. Airwolf says, ideally, Dessers, Matondo, Yilmaz, Dowell off in January to raise some funds. I think, the Dessers and Matondo is a realistic one. Dowell, I mean, I don't get Dowell. I genuinely don't get Dowell. I don't understand what he contributes to the team. What a difference Ianis has made to the team. Absolutely, mate. I mean, I thought yesterday, he had that shot that obviously hit the bar. He had the goal that was disallowed for offside. I mean, it was offside, unfortunately. He had that other chance as well that he missed. I think he's looked quality. And he's provided, creativity. He's provided a goal threat. He's provided a passing threat. He's provided everything we were kind of missing in that midfield for me. So, I mean, I'm really positive about Hagi. And I really like Hagi as a footballer. I mean, I feel sorry for him. Don't get me wrong. I feel sorry for him because he's following in the footsteps of probably one of the best footballers ever played the game, and his dad. I mean, his dad was a phenomenal footballer. Georgie Hagi was just different class. And Ianis is not in the same class as Georgie, don't get me wrong. But, you got to feel for these kids when they're coming through and their dads were Georgie Hagi, or, like Jordi Cruyff's dad was Johan Cruyff. You've got to feel for them. But he's come in and done really, really well. And he's come in and made a real difference to this team. And he's got a creativity, he's got an intelligence, he's got a real football brain, Ianis Hagi, and I like Hagi for that. And I think, as Janet says in the comments, and I'll bring your comment up in a minute, Janet, Hagi looks like a new player since he's running the team. Absolutely, 100%. David Baird says, why has Barron not featured lately? Is it because of the upcoming tribunal on his transfer fee? I don't think so, mate. I think it's probably more down to the fact that at home he doesn't want to use two defensive midfielders or two more defensive midfielders in Barron and Raskin. I think he feels that Dio and Raskin and Hagi just provide a little bit more attacking prowess, a little bit more go forward, a little bit more incisiveness in the final third, a little bit more chance to create some more chances. I do think that that's probably the reason why he's not playing Barron at the moment, because Barron has played away from home, if you remember. So I don't think it's got anything to do with the tribunal. I think the tribunal fee will be set regardless of how many appearances he makes. So yeah, I don't think that's to do with it, if I'm being wholly honest. The day Beale left, I said, how do we get Hagi back by Monday? True. Dow scored at Motherwell he did, didn't he, Scott? But like I said, I still don't get it. Ianis gets his good looks from his mum, thank God. Yeah, I mean, his dad was not the nicest looking fellas, isn't he? I mean, I know I'm not the nice. I mean, I know I'm a proper ugly bloke, but there we go. Hagi's range of passing is great. We were daft not to sort this out. Yeah, absolutely. It's made a massive, massive difference for me. Bringing him back in has made a huge, huge difference to the team. It really has, and you've got to kind of sit back and appreciate what Ianis does for Rangers and how Ianis plays for Rangers. He really has made a massive, huge difference for me, and his performance yesterday was very good. I thought, he was one of the best players on the park yesterday, along with Raskin and Sterling. And I thought, do you know what? I'm going to praise him. I know it's not something I usually do, but I thought James Tavernier had a very good game yesterday. I thought he was solid defensively. I thought he was good going forward. I thought Tav did really, really well yesterday. Maybe him being dropped and him getting an absolute hammering has actually made him realise that he needs to up his game. I don't know, but he did look better yesterday for me. I think Danilo and Igman found yesterday tough, but I think, a lot of people that we've kind of got to say about, people talking about Igman after yesterday and saying, oh, he's only average. The one thing you're going to get with kids, is that they're going to be inconsistent. They're going to be games when they're brilliant, and there's going to be games when they're just average, because they're learning the game still. They've still got a lot of development to go, and Hammers has still got a lot of development to go in his game yet. And he isn't the finished article, anywhere near the finished article yet. And yes, he wasn't brilliant yesterday. I mean, yes, he probably should have scored that chance that he hits the bar with, and I think if that was Dessers, we'd be fucking slaughtering him. But you know, he's gonna get better. He's gonna improve, and he's gonna have those odd games where you sit there and go, "Ooh, that wasn't great, was it?" And that's because he's a young kid. He's still learning the game, and when you've got young kids, that's what happens with younger ones, shouldn't we? That's what happens. Should look at Ryan Philippe. Was he the guy that was in? Was he the guy that was in Cruel Intentions with Sarah Michelle Gellar? She was fit. 17 games. Oh, Fisnik Aslani, another player there. Aslani. Some lots of names you get into looking at. Airwolf, you can be the official channel scout, mate. I think that's a great question, Janet, because obviously his contract's up in. Is it the end of next season? His contract's up. Ianis Hagi. We have a bit of a research into this one, but yeah, I mean, I think looking at his form, looking at the way he's playing, Rangers would be stupid to sell him at the moment. If someone came in and offered 7-8 million for him, you'd bite your hand off for that, wouldn't you? But the way he's playing at the moment, I'd be keeping him. I really would. And I'd be giving him a new contract because he's clear he loves the club. He loves playing for Rangers. And I think one of the things you can kind of, really cling on to, he's under contract until next summer, 2026. His contract expires on the 31st of May, 2026. I'd be giving him a new contract. I really would, because the longer term his deal is, the more money you're going to get from it if clubs come in for him. I mean, yes, if someone comes in and offers us £7-8 million in January, you'd be stupid not to take it. But I honestly hope we should give him a new contract because the guy loves the club. He loves playing for Rangers. If he didn't love playing for Rangers, right, he would have walked. He would have walked when we had all that contract issues. We had all those contract problems for Ianis. He would have walked. He really 100% on that one. I can't get your comments up. I don't know what is going on with this internet at the moment. It's not coming up. Should we try and get Mijovski on loan in January? I don't. If I'm being honest with you, mate, I don't think he's going to come. So yeah, I don't think that's not really a go for me. I don't think that's going to happen. I really don't. So yeah, absolutely. What else have we got here? Scott says, from now and all the month of January, we have a game every 3 to 4 days, need rotation. So I mean, yeah, and that's why I think in January we need to be going after the likes of Olaru, the likes of Soldo, get another striker in, get another centre back in, have options. I mean, John Suter, I don't know how long Suter's going to be out and if he's going to be back for the second. I really hope he is back for January. But if he isn't, we do need someone, I believe, because we've got proper. Sterling can play as a centre back, and we've got Balogun. Balogun can't play 3 games in a week. We know that. It's not. He just can't do it. And look, I love Big Leon. I'd love Big Leon to start every single game for Rangers, but unfortunately, that would be that. It's just not possible. It's just not possible, is it? What's we got here? Comment here from Emmy. Emmy says, I think Hagi plays his socks off because he wants to move on. I don't know, Emmy. I don't know if he does want to move on. I mean, if he wanted to move on, would he not have really pushed for a move or a cancelling of his contract when we were forcing him out of the team in the B when he was playing B team football? I don't actually think he wants out, mate. I genuinely don't. Need to use the squad in the transfer market. We do, absolutely. Linked to a few clubs, Brian, but he's under contract for 5 years. And I don't think we should sell him under any circumstances. Look, yeah, I'll be honest, Brian. If in January, let's say Everton or Newcastle or West Ham come in and they offer us £20 million for him, then we'd be stupid to turn it down. We really would. As good as he is, and he is very good, don't get me wrong. But if Everton or West Ham or Forest or Newcastle come in January and say, Rangers, there's 20 million quid, give us Hamza Igerman, we'd be stupid to turn it down. As a player, we paid 1.7 million for him. And if we were to get 20 million pounds and plus insert, say, a 20% sell on into the contract, we'd be stupid to turn it down. As much as, we want to hang on to every player, we want to keep our best players, it's money at the end of the day. And we need money to strengthen the squad. We really do. Did you see the Christian Lee? I haven't. I will have a look for that. At least Hagi, the price is going up. Correct. absolutely. Mate, I've been at work. You know, I've been I've been at work since 1 a.m. this morning, 2 a.m. this morning, mate. So I've missed a lot today. Hagi is well off Owen after what we've done to him, and I don't blame him. I don't think he is. I don't think he is. You know, he'd have pushed more for a move, and I don't think he wouldn't have sorted the contract out. I don't think he is going to go, mate. I don't think he is. We do need to bring in some centre backs in January. Absolutely. Stuart still thinks he's going to be off, mate. I respect your opinion. I disagree with it, but I respect your opinion. Been screaming to get Hagi back since the start of the season. Henry, haven't we all, mate? New name, Henry. Welcome to the channel. The Dundee game was one of those, just get it out of the way. Games players were mentally and physically exhausted after the Spurs and Celtic games. I disagree, Emily. Hagi came out and said he loves the club. He does, doesn't he? And that's, I think, why he stays for me. I do think he wants to stay as well. Hagi loves the club and still feels he has unfinished business. He will stay. I agree. I think Hagi would have already left, but he loves Rangers. He does. I think he does genuinely love Rangers. Blue Nose says that he was 2.6. Well, okay, 2.6. Well, 20 million quid over 2.6 is still a hell of a profit, mate. Still a hell of a profit, isn't it? And we'd be stupid to turn it down. We genuinely would. Right, you know, let's have a little look ahead at what's coming up. I mean, like I said, this Saturday's performance, I mean, yeah, was ugly. An ugly win, but we've got the points, and that's the key thing. You know, it's 3 points. It's up the road, and off we go again. Ready to obviously try and hopefully carry on this unbeaten run that we're on now, going into the games over the festive period. Henry Wallace, where you from, mate? Alex is asking where you're from. What we've got a comment here. Bluebells, welcome. Hagi was one of, if not the best player for us before the injury. Got shafted for 18 months. Now he's back. He's one of our best players. Conclusion: Hagi is one of our best players. 18 months left, mate. I agree with you. Hagi is one of our best players. And I said this after the Euros. I said this after. Go back and watch the videos from after the Euros. I said we need him back. We need Ianis Hagi playing for Rangers. And I agree. You know, he has been great, and he is a very good footballer. And yes, before his ACL, he was one of our best players, wasn't he? He really was one of our best players. Absolutely, he was. So yeah, I agree. 2nd of Jan. Okay, I'm just going through and putting a few fixtures in here, so we're gonna have a look at a few fixtures in a minute together. 5th of Jan. These quick in a minute. Right, okay, so let's get a few comments. Yeah, he was, before the ACL, he was one of our best players. I agree. Need to get Hagi in the Euro squad, Henry, we do. I wouldn't be against offering Hagi a new deal, me neither. Hagi was one of the stars of 55. He was. I think he was top of the assists, wasn't he, during 55? Emily's in New York. Cambuslang, but living in London, Henry. You must have a fortune then. Not sure if you want to cover it tonight, mate, but what's the script with the new channel? What kind of content can we expect? I covered it at the start, buddy. So the new channel is going to be an SPL channel, mate. So it's going to cover... So you know how, just as an aside for a minute, do you know how Mark Goldbridge has the United stand and he has That's Football? So his That's Football is kind of a general one. He talks about European football, the Premier League. Well, on that channel, I'm going to be talking about the SPL. I'm going to be talking about the European game, bringing you live streams of European games. With a heavy Rangers bias, of course, being a Rangers fan, I am going to be biased towards Rangers, but I will talk about the other teams. It's Bluebells. It's entirely fine, mate. I'm talking about it. It's a channel. You know, what I want to do is trying to talk about the league, sort of widen our knowledge of the league, you know, and that's what it's about, mate. So, you know, like I dropped the link in the live chat earlier somewhere. I'll drop it again at the end. Don't know where it went. It's gone somewhere. Where was it? It's in the live chat somewhere. I'll drop it again in a minute. But yeah, that's what it's all about, mate. That's what it's all about. So it's all about the SPL. Can Hagi be out into the Euro squad? Yes, he can be. He can be added to the Euro squad if we qualify for the next round. No worries, mate. Always welcome here. Bluebells, one of our best contributors as always, mate. Henry Wallace, I'm a Glaswegian living in Somerset. Had family in Rutherglen. Follow, thank you, Emmy. Yeah. So look. Coming up, what have we got coming up over the next sort of week? So we've got on Thursday, on Boxing Day, your Boxing Day offering, which will be live here on the channel, is St Mirren away. That's a good point, John. We'll get to that. I actually wanted to talk about that. Let me just make a note of that to remember to talk about it. Cortez. Yes, St Mirren away on the 26th, Motherwell away on the 29th, Celtic at home on the 2nd, and Hibs away on the 5th. So we've actually got 3 out of the next 4 away. On paper, you'd say that there's some difficult games coming up. I mean, St Mirren away, I'm not really worried about St Mirren away. We've got a decent record against them. Motherwell away, Fir Park, I'm a little bit worried about that one. That could be a bit of a tight one. Hibs away, they've just won 3-1, was it? Against Aberdeen away. They won at Pataudry. So that's another bit of a worry there. So there's some tough games upcoming in this month. And, I think Airwolf said, or someone, I can't remember who said it earlier in the live chat, we're going to have, games every 3 to 4 days. So obviously we play Thursday, we play Sunday, we play Thursday, I think we play Sunday again. So there's a lot of games upcoming, in this month of December and this month of January still to come. So, yeah, a lot of games upcoming. Airwolf says 10 out of 12 would be a good return. Yeah, guys, come on. What do you reckon? What do you reckon? I mean, I'm gonna say my prediction for the next 4 games is this. That's my prediction for the next 4 games. Win, 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 win. What's your prediction for the next 4 games? Alex says that's a good 12 points if we can do it. Airwolf says 10 out of 12. Airwolf, where are we dropping points, mate? Where are we dropping points? Let me know. Where are we dropping points in that little run of fixtures? Let me know, buddy. Where are we dropping points? Where have you got the 2 points been dropped there? Where's the draw coming up in those games? But yeah, some tough games upcoming, mate. Tough games upcoming in that little spell. May says, hopefully we can come through this difficult spell unscathed. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, to be honest with you, draw at home, says Airwolf. Oh, so you're going for the Celtic game to be a draw. Okay, Celtic to be a draw. Airwolf, is that enough? Airwolf, is that enough to kind of... I mean, I'll be honest with you. Does Clermont need to win that game? Does he need to win that game? Because of obviously, the fact we haven't beaten him yet. Does he need to win that game? We'll talk about that at some point. Just win. Yeah, Blue Nose John says, would love to get it back. 6 points, see how they handle it. Yeah, I mean, look, the more pressure we can put on them, the better. I think the more pressure we can give, put them under, the better for, the better. Like I just said a few moments ago, I don't think this Celtic team, is as tough as the Postecoglou teams of the past. So I honestly believe that we could put a hell of a lot of pressure on them going forward. Absolutely. There's the link. I've just posted the link again to the new podcast in the live chat. Hopefully that's gone through. Has it? I don't know if it has. No, it hasn't. I'll do it again another way. Let's do it this way. Don't know why the comments are not posting from there. Henry says Somerset's a beautiful place, mate. Lovely place. Love Somerset. Been there a few times. Some good looking women in Somerset. If we're going to challenge for anything, we need 12 points. In fact, we'd need to go unbeaten until the end of the season. Grant, I mean, absolutely. 100% agreed. 100% agreed, mate. We do. No reason why we can't, I don't think. That's the link to the new channel, obviously. So look, at the end of the day, I mean, yes, there's some tough games. Now, somebody raised the point about Cortez not playing. Where was it? Was it John? Was it John? Who was it? Who raised the Cortez point? Here we go. Blue Nose John says, "Why did PC not get Cortez some minutes yesterday? His decisions are erratic." I'll be honest with you. I would have actually liked to have seen Oscar Cortez get some minutes. Get some minutes yesterday. I mean, look, I think the one thing we've got to kind of take into consideration is that we do need to be a little bit more careful with Oscar Cortez. The guy's had a lot of injuries. So maybe there was an element of the game situation, the conditions. He didn't want to risk him. I don't know what it is. What situation is there with that one? But I would have liked to have seen him get some minutes. I really would like to have seen him get some minutes yesterday. I genuinely would, mate. But yeah, I don't know. He has said, look, he did say the other day that he needs to be careful with him, that he needs to sort of bring him back slowly. So yeah, I agree with that one. That shouldn't be up for debate winning the upcoming games. Agreed. Henry, that's a long time. Airwolf says he needs to get the win to get his off his. Yeah, he does. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, that's obviously in relation to the whole Ibrox and the whole situation with the the old firm hoodoo. Yeah, I think he does need to. He does need to get the win, doesn't he? He does need to get the whole Celtic hoodoo done and dusted as soon as is possible. Stuart says, why is Dow getting a game before Curtis, Rice and Lovelace? That's a great question. I genuinely don't know, Stuart. I think if you go back over my X, if you go back over my channel videos, it's a question I've asked you guys loads. What is Dowell? Why is Dowell in the squad? I don't get Dowell. I don't understand his purpose. I don't understand what he brings to the team. He doesn't really, for me, do anything for this team. He really doesn't. So yeah, I agree. I don't know what he does. I don't know what he does. I would sell him in January if the money comes in for him. But the issue you've got is who's going to want him, because he hasn't really contributed a great deal for Rangers. He hasn't sort of pulled up any trees. He hasn't really done anything. So what does he contribute? What's his point? I don't get it. I genuinely don't get it. But yeah, I agree with you. I would love to see the likes of Curtis, Rice and Lovelace get game time. I mean, I would love to see Finlay Curtis get game time. Finlay Curtis looks a cracking young player. He really does. Looks a quality young player. Henry says we've come back from 11 points before. Look, mate, in this league, nothing is surmountable. Nothing is surmountable. And I think once you get down to under double digits, once it comes down to single digit differences, that's when there's opportunities and chances there. Agreed, Jim. There shouldn't be a debate. Rangers need to win all of these games. End of. I agree with you. Dowell and Matondo are taking up places where youngsters could fill in. I agree with that comment. 100%. Dowell is a piece of wood inserted in a hole. Lol. Yeah, he's like a finger in a dike, isn't he? And I'm not talking about a lesbian. Janet, I'll be home for Christmas. Well, Alex, are you singing? Are you singing for us? Are you singing? What's he called? Chris Rea, is it? Driving Home for Christmas, or Last Christmas by Wham? Is that what you're singing, buddy? Airwolf says that's why I would sell Yilmaz as Fraser's there. I mean, that's a good shout, mate. I mean, to be honest with you, we've got some good young players who I would love to see get a chance in the new year. There's a number of players I would love to see given an opportunity to impress in the new year and actually come in and get some game time. I really would. There's a lot of very talented footballers, I think, coming through it in this squad. I mean, for me, the 5 names that you've got to kind of watch out for, coming out of the into the second half of the season, are these 5 names here. Where are they? Let's bring them up here. So the 5 names I would want to see: Lovelace, Curtis, McKinnon, Rice and Fraser. There's 5 players there I'd love to see get an opportunity. I'm not saying start them by any stretch of the imagination, but give them a game. Mays says here, what does Mays say? Mays says, comment about Dowell. Was that about Dowell, was it? Let's have a look. It says, I don't rate Dowell. Apparently he's on a high wage earn. I think he's on over 20 grand. I think he could be on over 20 grand. I'll have a look in a minute. Next Old Firm game is a must-win. I agree. 100% is a must-win. Dowell was scoring hat-tricks down south, but up here he looks like a competition winner. Very true. Very true, mate. Very true. From an FFP perspective, sell one of our own, 100% profit. Agreed. And NCO, yeah, he's another good player, George Elliott. Absolutely. Quality player. He really is a good footballer. He's young still. He's been a couple of English clubs looked at him, and he's a good footballer. So yeah, I agree with you. He's someone else we should be certainly looking at going forward. I mean, we've got, is it Fraserburgh in the cup? So I don't know why we couldn't see some of these youngsters in the league in the cup against Fraserburgh, because realistically, are Fraserburgh going to pose as a massive problem? No. So why can't we see perhaps those 5 youngsters get a game against Fraserburgh? I never pick out Rangers players, but I agree Dowell is pointless, says Stuart. Yeah, I agree. 100% agree. It is absolutely, Janet. It's blue and it always will be. In response to the Kieran Dowell salary, Kieran Dowell's on 16 grand a week, according to sources. We don't know. We'll never know for an exact, because the wage is not revealed, but we think it's about 16 grand a week that Kieran Dowell gets for Rangers. Right, guys, that is it for tonight. Thank you for joining. Blue Nose John says Dowell was Beale's first signing in the summer window, and the club were giving out wages like sweeties. Very true. They were. I mean, when he first came up with a lot of promise, didn't he? I mean, people were talking about, Norwich fans saying that he was better than Cantwell and they'd miss him more than Cantwell, and he's a better player than Cantwell. Well, he hasn't really done it, has he? And I'd say that Catty's not a better player than Cantwell. Airwolf says, have a nice Christmas. Mate, we're not done before Christmas yet. We will have live shows before Christmas. Don't you worry. Thank you for watching Glasgow Rangers Nation tonight. As always, guys, the show would have been nothing without you and your comments and your contributions. We just need to keep growing the audiences, guys. I want this audience a lot bigger. We want to be getting over 100, 200 in to everybody. So spread the word. Let's get everyone involved. The more talk, the better. Thank you so much for watching tonight. It has been an absolute pleasure speaking to my Rangers family, as always. You know what? On the way out, smash the sub, smash the like, comment, share, do all that great stuff for me. But always remember, please never forget, we are the people.